Not tip the girl who did my braids yesterday, and this was the first time I haven't tipped to get my hair done, and I was fueled with anxiety, especially when I hand her over the cash and she starts counting it, and I was like, I just did not feel like tipping was necessary on this service. For reference, this was $350 to get done. These are small, knotless, and this is a French curl braid. That averages out, took her 7.5 hours, $46 an hour. Minus the cost of hair, so we'll just round it down to $40 an hour. She didn't have to commute. She's not paying any extra overhead because she works from home. I think that that's a really good price. How many people are making $40 an hour? I want to also add that I had to go to the ATM, which is the most inconvenient method of payment, to go get the exact amount of cash that I need for the appointment. I also had to come wash, conditioned, and blow dried, and I was the one that had to do the commuting. This is no shade, no tea, no nothing. This was the most comfortable braiding experience I've ever gotten. She was the best braider I've ever had, and I will definitely be going back to her. A lot of people say tipping is how you say thank you, but to me, saying thank you is how you say thank you. Respecting people's policies, arriving to your appointment on time, being respectful of the space that you're in, letting them take photos of their work after, and maybe telling your friends, or if you have a social media following, that to me is how you say thank you. We don't need to bump someone's $40 an hour work up to $45 to say thank you. Sue me, sue me.
So I saw this video, the same place that I see all the rest of the foolishness in the wonderful world of TikTok. And when I saw this video, I left a comment. Okay, I left a comment on this video, and in my comment, I simply said, you know, I personally always tip whenever I go somewhere. To me, if I cannot afford to pay for the service plus tip, that tells me that I should not be going anywhere. Okay, I just offered a different perspective, you know, based off of what she was saying. I just saw the comment. I left my own comment based off of my own personal experiences. Also, the fact that I have, you know, always worked in the service industry. And so I can understand the other side to this exact conversation. And so I just left my other perspective. You would have thought that when I left that comment on this video that I was telling women to be submissive to men, women to be accountable for their actions. The same exact energy that I get when I am holding women accountable is the same exact energy that I received when I left this simple comment of what I would do on this woman's video. I took that not as a coincidence. Okay, I did not take that lightly, and I did not take that as a coincidence. In the comments, there were so many women telling me what I should and should not do, telling me that I am a victim of victim culture, of tipping culture, telling me that, you know, that is how, if people set their prices, I do not have to be you know, I shouldn't feel burdened and manipulated to be able to tip or to do all these things. Just a plethora of foolishness comments based off of me just saying from my, you know, personal opinion that that's not what I would do. I just want you guys to keep that very intricate detail in mind. There was also people in the comment section who were moving the goalposts. Well, do you tip your doctor? Do you tip your dentist? Do you tip the mailman? Do you tip the Amazon driver? Why are you tipping the person? If you tip so much, do you tip the cashier at the grocery store? Moving the goalposts. And every time that this happens, especially when it's outside of the realm of me having any kind of conversation about relationships or women and men and how, you know, we should be communicating or how we should be cooperating with our counterpart, whenever I see how women treat another woman who does not agree with the masses, I already understand what men are going through because I see it, but then I really, truly get it. A lot of these women are, you know, flocking to these spaces and are trying to, you know, hit you with a stick for you to be a part of the sisterhood and a part of the womanhood and agree with anything that other women say just because we're all women. They are literally, what is the word that I would use? I don't even know the word I would use. All I would say is that it's almost like when you have a conversation with these women, you feel like you're suffering. Like you feel like you're going through it. They will pick and pick and pick and try to have the last word and debate. And when all of the tactics of their conversation are not working with you because they realize that you are standing 10 toes on what you actually say, then they start to deflect. They move the goalposts. Then they try to yank you all around. Before you know it, now you're talking about something that has nothing to do with the conversation. This is the same thing they do when they're in relationships with men and they get into arguments with them. Same thing. The man can be right. The first thing that he says out of his mouth is, placing the whole depth of whatever disagreement you had, just showing you yourself and putting that mirror right on back to you. By the end of the conversation, y'all talking about what he did 5 years ago. Has nothing to do with the situation. Nothing to do with it. I couldn't believe that women were talking to me and telling and acting like this was some kind of, because I said that I would, especially somebody who's doing a service for me. I am not sitting down and pocket watching anybody, first of all. I'm not going to go get my manicure and pedicure and saying, okay, this is how much is charged. Well, if you average it out, this amount of hours it took plus this, well, you getting paid more than most people get paid. So you know what? No, that is how you show your appreciation for the service. I am not trying to get people to agree with me. Again, I'm somebody who has worked in the service industry as a hairstylist. And I just know the appreciation on the other side of how people receive it. It's just a kind gesture. Nobody's saying that you have to. My whole point is that just once you are on the contrary, women will try to force you to feel like a victim. Force you to feel like you have been taken advantage of. Play mental gymnastics with you to make you feel like, no, you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim. What? This is what I said I want to do. Same thing with submission. Now, the thing is that, when it comes to men and tipping, I'm not saying, I just feel like women and men are our natures. Innately are just a little bit different, right? So again, men go to the barbershop. I'm sure when you go, you probably tip your barber, you give him a little extra something or whatever. Obviously, when it comes to the percentage of when you spend more, just like when you go to a restaurant, they offer you like 18%, 20%, 25%. It's just the ratio of how much you spend. You might end up giving a little bit more in tip because the service was a little bit more money, right? We're just talking, okay? The whole thing that I noticed is that we are in a space right now that women are so far away from their true feminine nature. To be a woman is to be generous. I'm not saying that you were supposed to go out there and spend all your dollars trying to, do everything you can and you're not taking care of your own responsibilities. You're not taking care of your own priorities, but you out there helping everybody else. That don't make no sense. But it's within our nature to be giving, to be generous, to be kind, to be understanding, to be compassionate. That's something that we're supposed to come with naturally. And every time that I go online, I see women turning their backs on their truest nature. Closing off literally who they are to become the same men that they said that they don't want to deal with, or they can't stand and they don't want to be with. I don't get it. I wanted to take this opportunity to remind some women of our feminine traits. Okay, I wrote them down so that I would not forget. Number 1 on the list of our feminine traits is called collaboration. Just write that first word off rip would disqualify a whole bunch of women because they're not collaborating with nobody. It's their way or the highway. There is no assistance. There is no help. There is no cooperation, which is number 2 on the list. Cooperation. There is none. Another trait is adaptability. You know what? Before I talk about the stuff that we don't have, that I see a lot of these women don't have, let me just name them off. Collaboration, cooperation, adaptability, empathy, nurturing, vulnerability, compassionate, sensitivity, care, gentle, kind, attentive, patient, supportive, admirable, generous. A lot of the women that we see nowadays that are getting hyped up from all the other women on social media who, if you go against the grain or if you say anything that these women do not agree with, it doesn't have to be just submission. Doesn't have to be just holding women accountable. It could be as simple as saying that, if me personally, I'm going to pay a tip. If I can't afford the tip, I feel like I can't go. And this woman saying that she's not tipping this person or whatever. As simple as a disagreement. It shows how far we are. How far off track we are. When I see these women, the word collaboration. Nope, don't see it. They are the sole and only person that's creating, doing, fixing anything. Cooperative, absolutely not. There's no cooperation. They have a superiority complex. No, I'm over you. No, I'm not helping you. I'm over you. I'm going to tell you what to do. Empathy. They don't know. They don't want to put themselves in anybody else's shoes, not just men. Oh, well, you already making this. I don't care. I don't care. You're the one that set your prices. You're the one. Although this woman literally said that this was the best experience she's ever had. Whether she's gone to a salon. Oh, I had to go to the ATM and, I couldn't believe that I had to go and take my money out. Empathy. Understanding would be maybe she's been burned before in the past where people say they're going to cash app her or they're going to send money, to her over the phone and she didn't get her money. And so now she needs the money in cash. So nobody don't play no games with her. That's putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Empathy. Nurturing. Only thing that they're nurturing is their self. The hair, the nails, that's the only thing that they're nurturing. Maybe a cat and a dog. Vulnerability, yeah, right. like you could just keep that one. Vulnerable to who? To what? Compassionate, absolutely not. Sensitive, absolutely not. Hard as a rock. Gentle, tough. Kindness, mean. Adaptability, steadfast. Patient, impatient. Oh, well, if he do that, no, because he did that to me one time, I'm out. Admirable. What exact traits do the women that we're seeing today exude? That younger girls would look up to them and say, I want to be just like that. I don't see it. I think they're becoming harder, tougher, meaner. And again, further and further and further away from the traits that make them woman. It's my opinion. It's my personal opinion. Now, for the people who are not going to feel what I'm saying, because, you know, it's a feel thing. The people who are just going to let it go over their head and come back and talk about the superficial conversation, which is the tipping. I am in no way, shape, or form telling anybody what they should do. Again, I want to reinforce. I made a comment on what I do. My perspective. I offered a different perspective. Not saying you should or should not do. Not saying that you can and cannot do. I offered a different perspective, which led to a problem. I've seen the women that I've, been raised around, not just my mother who raised me, but like people who I've been raised around where, I've noticed and I've taken notes of the things that they do and how they treat other people. Whether it is giving the mailman, a check around Christmas time just to say thanks. Or a gift basket. It doesn't always have to be finance. Sometimes it's just, I'm going to do something for you, or you're going to do my hair or whatever. Let me bring you your favorite drink or something. It's just care. That's it. Compassion. Okay, I just care about you. I want to show you. I want to extend it to you. I know I can say it, but I want to show you. Whether it's, your dentist's office, sending them, lunch around the end of the year or whatever for the staff. Even, it doesn't have to be something expensive. Sending a gift basket. Just to say thanks. I've literally gone to a store and, talked to people or a cashier or whatever, and somebody takes my groceries out to the car and I give them something. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a lot. It's just a giving nature. A generous, loving. Just like back in the day or whatever, Big Mama, depending on which aspect of myself I'm talking about, whether it's grandma or Big Mama, whichever aspect, people always flocked around her, and anybody who came to her home always left full, fed, comforted, consoled. She wasn't like, oh no, well you got your own house, and if I were to think about all these rice grains that I'm gonna split between everybody else, or all these mashed potatoes I'm gonna split between everybody else, you could have did this, and no, because this is my money. It wasn't about that. You're around me, and because of my feminine nature and you being around me, I'm going to take care of you. Simple as that. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.